Someone that's huge is Khalid. His debut album, American Teenager, was I guess a surprise
American
smash
Teen.
hit. American Teen, sorry. And Dave, do you know where he currently ranks on the Spotify monthly most played artists?
Fourth,
Do you know?
47 million monthly listeners. Crazy.
Do you know who's ahead of him?
I did. Ariana Grande's one.
Yes.
Not Drake.
No.
Oh, fuck, I forget. Just tell me. I don't remember.
J Balvin and Post Malone.
Oh, it's Post Malone. Yeah, I didn't. I was going to guess J Balvin. That makes a lot of sense, though. But me, it was really makes sense too. Wow. Post Malone. It's crazy that he's that high.
Yeah, and he's right ahead of Marshmello, Selena Gomez, Calvin Harris, Drake, Sway Lee, and Smith. That's the top 10. Crazy that he is only his second album. He's already in that stratosphere. I mean, Post Malone also a new artist. The fact that he's number 3 is insane. But yeah, Sway Lee, number 9.
Sunflower got him all the way up to number 9. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Holy
These
shit.
streaming numbers, man.
Wow. He's big. He's crazy big. He got really big, really fast. It's nuts, Khalid.
Yeah, and if I remember, I can't remember if we talked about American Teen, but after listening to the album, I think he has an interesting voice, and like he's very vibey. Like he's the kind of guy you listen to. He has kind of like these lo-fi tunes behind him, and has this interesting inflection in the way he sings, and it all kind of flows together to make this really just nice like song to listen to. I feel like, and I felt like Free Spirit was a lot more the same, but where American Teen, I think, really stood out and grabbed people, especially younger people, is that he was speaking about an experience that I think a lot of people related to. Whereas Free Spirit is a little bit harder to access, and I think it has a lot of the difficulties that someone that blows up quickly has when they write a second album, in terms of their material and their topics become a little bit less, I don't know, general. It's not as easy for people to connect with what they're talking about. I mean, it's a lot of being lonely, feeling like you can't trust people on this album. And that makes it a little bit tougher of a listen. At least I didn't find it as enjoyable, but I still think there's a lot to like on here. What was your take on Free Spirit?
Yeah, so I mean, we really first talked about Khalid back on that Sun City EP that came out in October, and American Teen, that EP, and now the second album. In that whole time, obviously, as we mentioned, he's a huge artist really quick. I mean, he's only just now 21 years old. He's only just starting his first arena tour. That's how quick he's gotten this big. But his biggest charting songs are actually all like features. East Side, the Benny Blanco Halsey joint, 1-800, the Logic song, Lovely, the Billie Eilish Lucy, and then Love Lies with Normani. Those are like his biggest hits. And then we have Location, Young, Dumb, and Broke, and Now Talk, right? Mm-hmm. So it's weird because I feel like he's actually better as a guest, like a less is more artist, because all of his projects so far for me, I just feel like I kind of fall into them, and then I just kind of get lost, because I think when he uses these moody beats and he has these kind of sleepy vocals, his voice doesn't like rise above them to like stand out enough. Like on this album, towards the end, like on that song 21, he actually changes his delivery for the first time in several tracks, and like actually like jump started my brain again. But I feel like too many times on sequences on his projects, I just kind of slip in and out because it just gets way too moody. So I'm kind of on the camp now that I think he's a less is more artist, and perhaps a little overrated. Not saying he's bad. I just think he's like Sam Smith. He's not Frank Ocean, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Frank Ocean is like, I don't know, very inventive in his sound, though, where I don't think you could ever say that about Khalid. He seems to be very, moody is the right word. I actually wrote down that it's just mood music throughout. And I think he has this like melancholy to his voice, and that, again, blends together so well with some of these songs. It almost feels indistinguishable at points, in terms of where his voice ends and the background beat that he's working with kind of goes together. But there were a few songs that stood out to me I thought were pretty interesting. I really liked the song with John Mayer, "Out of My Head." I thought that song kind of stood out. It's kind of groovy, a little bit like disco-y with like the John Mayer soft rock touch that is like made for radio. But then you also got Paradise, which I really liked the funky reverberate guitar on that. He added a little spin to Alive, which has like the island drums in the background with it. And of course, Talk, I think, is the clear standout from this. And that song is just a clear bop. Shout out Disclosure. Just they keep killing it. Can't wait for their next album. So I think there's a lot to like on here, but 17 songs just seems like way too much.
Yeah, I agree. I also really liked Right Back, similar to Talk, just this really bouncy, poppy beat that he can easily rock on. You know, this kind of, he's talented enough to make these certified pop hits from that. But I think when he tries to get more introspective, and at least right now, the production choices, the vocal choices just kind of lose me. But when he has these more upbeat songs like Talk and Right Back, I'm right there. I think those songs are awesome.
Yeah, he also worked with Portugal the Man's producer on a couple of these songs, which I think is an interesting choice because I could hear
Makes
a lot
sense.
of that influence on here for sure. Any last thoughts before we move on from Free Spirit?
Yeah, I'm just curious to see the choices to come because I mean, only second album, he's this massive artist, 5 Grammy noms already, 21 years old. What's next? You know, because is he going to continue to devolve in his introspective stuff, or is he going to see the success of songs like Talk and just and all his collaborations and just continue to just be this mainstream pop force? You know, I could see either direction, so I'm just curious to see what happens next. But we'll be hearing from him, no doubt about that.
Yeah, he's a mammoth artist right now. We'll see if he keeps it up.